In an old village in England, life was simple. Morning mist covered the wooden homes. Children played in the streets. Villagers worked in peace.
The air feels wrong today.
On a hill above the village stood a young man named Eadric. He did not speak much.
Something is coming.
The wind was cold. The forest was silent. Too silent. Then, beyond the trees, shadows began to move. Iron armor stepped through the fog. Torches burned in the darkness. And the quiet morning was about to become the beginning of fire. The village still believed it was safe. Children laughed in the streets, and people worked under the morning light. But the silence began to change. Smoke rose behind the wooden homes. Firelight touched the walls, and fear spread through the village. From the hill, Eadric saw everything. He did not wait. He ran toward the smoke, toward the cries, toward the only home he had ever known. And through the burning haze, an armored figure stepped into his path. Steel met steel. Sparks flew into the smoke. Eadric held his ground, and for the first time, the armored man stepped back. But this was not victory. The figure disappeared into the haze, and Eadric turned toward the village. The streets were silent. Smoke covered everything. The homes he once knew now stood broken and empty. Eadric walked through the ashes, searching for any voice, any sign of life.
Is anyone here? Please, guys, it's me!
Through the smoke, Eadric found what the fire had left behind. Broken doors, scattered memories, a village that no longer breathed like before. He knelt beside what he had lost, and the world inside him broke. Then, through the haze, he saw him, a mounted commander, still, cold, watching. Eadric did not speak. His grief turned into anger, and in his eyes, a vow was born. The commander raised his hand, and his men faded back into the smoke. No words, no mercy. Only silence. The village stood empty now. Ash drifted through the streets, and the wind carried what was left of the morning. Eadric stood alone, his sword lowered, his heart heavier than iron. For a moment, he was only a broken son of the village. But then, his tears stopped, and something colder than grief began to rise inside him. Before the sun disappeared, Eadric gave his people one final goodbye. Simple wooden markers stood in the cold earth. No songs, no celebration. Only a promise whispered in silence.
I could not save them, but I will uncover the truth.
That night, beside a small fire, he sharpened his sword, not for anger alone, and as the flames moved, his mind returned to the days before the fire, to laughter, to sunlight, to the village as it once was, and to the boy who had not yet learned what loss truly meant. The memory faded, and Eadric returned to the cold world before him. He was no longer the quiet young man who only watched from the hill. He was carrying loss now, and loss had changed him. With his sword at his side and fire behind his eyes, Eadric stepped away from the village. The road ahead was unknown, but he did not turn back. By nightfall, he entered the dark forest. Every tree felt like a warning. Every shadow felt alive. In the darkness, eyes watched from between the trees. The forest tested him with fear, but Eadric did not run. He lit a torch, and the small flame pushed back the night. For the first time since the fire, he was not only searching for revenge, he was searching for answers. Far beyond the forest, a castle rose through the fog, cold stone, high towers, and secrets hidden behind royal walls. Inside, the king sat in silence, while shadows moved around his throne. Before the throne, the commander brought his report. The village had fallen, but one name still remained, Eadric. And that name was now a problem for the crown.
The village has fallen, my king. But the boy survived.
Across a candlelit map, silent hands planned the next move. The truth was no longer buried in smoke. It was hidden in power, far from the castle. Eadric walked alone beneath a heavy sky. The road was cold, the wind was sharp. Then ahead, he saw a frightened traveler, stopped by rough men on the road.
Well, where do you think you're going in such a hurry? Please. I don't have anything of value. Just let me pass.
Eadric stepped forward, not with rage, but with warning. His hand moved toward the sword, and the road fell silent. The rough men saw something in his eyes, and their courage broke. One stepped back, then the other. The traveler was safe, with trembling hands.
You saved my life. Whoever you are, may God guide your path.
The old man thanked him, but Eadric did not wait for praise. He turned away and walked back into the fog. The road ahead was empty, but his journey was far from over. Night fell over the forest. Eadric sat alone beside a small fire. The flames moved, but his eyes did not rest. Something was watching him. Between the trees, a shadow stood in silence, hidden in the darkness, waiting. Then, beneath a hood, two eyes opened in the firelight, cold, still, focused only on Eadric. And in that moment, Eadric felt it. The forest was no longer empty.
Who's there? Show yourself.
He turned toward the darkness, his hand reaching for the sword.
You are walking toward a truth that will change everything. You are walking toward a truth that will change everything.
Across the fire, Eadric saw the stranger step from the dark. No fear, no hurry, only silence. The hooded warrior stood before him, as if he already knew Eadric's path. His words were few, but they carried.